Hey guys, welcome back to the Nichols Nook. If you're new, my name is Jess, and this is our sweet baby girl, Eliana Grace. She is 1 month old today. I can't believe it! You're such a big girl. I love you. But we are gonna go ahead and do a 1 month update in this video, just to kind of talk about some things that have been going on over this first month, how we're doing, and I'm really gonna be focusing mostly on her, and then I plan on going into detail about my postpartum recovery in a separate video. So she is tired and she has been fighting taking a nap, so I went ahead and laid her back here in the DOCKATOT, and I'm hoping that she'll go ahead and sleep, but we'll just have to see. If not, maybe she'll just hang out with us and just look around. Yeah. So Eliana was born on March 2nd. She was 6 days early. If you haven't watched our birth vlog yet, definitely go check that video out first and then come back and watch this one. That video is incredibly special to us and we feel so blessed to be able to share that with you guys. So be sure to go and watch that. And I do want to say thank you from both Chaz and I for all of your love and support. Eliana has no idea how many people adore her already. She is so loved and we are so grateful to you guys for that. I am just so thankful to have such a wonderful community of people here on our channel. And if you are new, definitely consider hitting subscribe because we do really have a wonderful community of people. Our viewers are positive and uplifting and encouraging, and it's just so nice to have this family here on YouTube. So this first month with Eliana has been absolutely amazing, amazing, amazing. We adore her so much. We just can't get enough of her squishy cheeks. She's getting some little chubby cheeks on her and I love them so much. They are my favorite. She just is so squishy. She really is such a chill, content, easygoing baby. She is really relaxed most of the time and loves to just take everything in. She doesn't get fussy very often, and when she does, it's usually because she's hungry or she wants to be held. She doesn't cry during diaper changes. She doesn't cry during baths. She is really just a really good baby. Chaz has been absolutely wonderful. This first month he has been so supportive and helpful around the house and with her, as well as our families. So I may have to finish this video once she goes down for a nap. Yeah, it's okay. I love you. Okay, so it's been about an hour and a half or so. We took a little nursing break, which is very typical. We nurse a lot, don't we, sweet girl? Yes. And then I went ahead and tried laying her down again, but she's a little fussy, poor girl. She is a really good, easygoing baby most of the time, but lately, this past week, not even the whole week, just the past few days, she has been getting fussier in the evenings, and now it's about 5 o'clock. But we are trying to kind of figure out what her cries mean and just kind of what kind of routine she needs to be on so that she's not overtired or overstimulated. So I have been trying to get her on a little bit more of a routine recently. That way it just kind of gets her a little bit more on a schedule and not anything that is super strict. A very loose schedule or routine that she and I can go by when Chaz is at work. So far it's been working really well. I change her diaper and feed her first thing while Chaz is getting ready for work, and then we play a little bit, and then right after that she goes down for her first nap. So when she's sleeping, that's the time that I really use to eat breakfast and get a cup of coffee, because trust me, I definitely need it. And then I try to just kind of clean up around the house a little bit. It really makes me feel better, and I've had a really easy postpartum recovery, so it's not like I'm pushing myself over the limit or anything. And I just kind of wipe down the counters, put away the dishes, things like that. But like I said, she really is a very easygoing baby. She's very good, very chilled out, very content most of the time. It's just in the evenings where she starts to get a little bit fussy. And I did download an app called the Wonder Weeks, and it really is amazing. It basically is an app that tells you when your baby is about to go through a growth spurt or through different leaps, they call them. So different developmental milestones or mental development stages. And so it's really helpful in showing when she might be a little bit more fussy, and it gives parents ideas as to how to interact with their newborn during that time. So during this time period right now, she is coming up on her first leap. It says that they can be a little bit more cranky and clingy during this time, which is so true. So this little girl recently has loved to be held, and it really is the only place that she likes to sleep right now. So that's probably why she was fussy just a moment ago, because she wanted me to pick her up and hold her rather than lay down and sleep. So she is, as you can see, falling asleep right here in my arms, which is very typical. I have tried baby wearing quite a few times, and I actually just got another wrap in the mail today. I haven't checked the mail yet, but I did get a notification that it was delivered. And I will be doing a video kind of talking about what works and what doesn't as far as baby wearing goes. So overall, we've had a pretty easy month with just a few fussy periods. She sometimes gets fussy when she has gas pains, and luckily we haven't really dealt with that since the first week. So she had a couple of bouts of gas pains that were really bad when we were still in the hospital. Poor thing. She just would scream and scream, and it broke mommy's heart. Yes, it did. And then she had another episode of that when we got home. And it was really interesting because both times that she had that, or the few times that she had those gas pains so badly, I had broccoli to eat. So I'm not sure if the broccoli had anything to do with that. It is a gassy food, and I didn't realize until after that that might have been the cause of that. But both her pediatrician and the lactation consultant at the hospital thought that they were not related and that it was just a coincidence. But it was interesting because it had happened again at home, so I'm not really sure. I have been avoiding broccoli since then, and we have not had that issue at all. So I don't know. Let me know what you guys think down below. All right, so since my arm is getting tired, I'm gonna try to lay her down. Like I said, it's really been a lot of trial and error, and we are still kind of figuring out what works best for her, but she is doing really well overall, and she is just a happy, healthy baby. So as far as feeding or nursing goes, I have been exclusively breastfeeding her since day one. My milk came in on day 4, and boy, did it come in. So I didn't really know what to expect when they say, oh, did your milk come in? They kept asking me, oh, did your milk come in yet? When I was at the hospital. And I didn't really know. I was just kind of like, well, I think she's getting a little bit, but I'm not really sure. And then all of a sudden we were home, and on day 4, it was like, woof, there it was. They were rock solid, and I just had milk gushing out. I mean, I would get out of the shower and I would have milk just dripping down my legs. I remember trying to get dressed after a shower into my PJs, and you guys, I was catching puddles of milk in my hands, and I was just cracking up saying, babe, get me a towel, get me a towel. I like couldn't get to the bathroom to get a towel because there was so much milk going everywhere. It was crazy. Oh, it's okay. Chad's just actually got home, so he's gonna take her for a little bit. Okay, so I definitely have had an amazing milk supply. I have actually had so much milk that I've had to start pumping a little bit before I nurse her to relieve my breast. Otherwise, she gets way too much milk and it ends up making her cough, or she chokes on it, and it's just way too much. In addition to having so much milk, I also have a really fast letdown. So she just gets way too much, way too fast, and it's not good. So I've been using the Haka or Haka, I'm not really sure how to pronounce it. That is one of the products that I have fallen in love with. I do have a few others that I want to share throughout these next few weeks because you guys, I have learned so much in such a short amount of time about breastfeeding and diapering and sleeping and all kinds of things that I can't even fit into this video because it would just be way too long. But the Haka or Haka pump, it's a manual pump, is a lifesaver, and it helps with my flow for her, and then it also just helps with me building up a stash in the freezer. So that has been amazing. We did struggle a lot at the beginning with getting a proper latch, and I mean, it was really painful at the beginning for me. I thought that maybe sore or tender nipples at the beginning was normal, and it's not. They say that breastfeeding should never hurt, even at the beginning, and that once your nipples are sore, it can take up to a week for that to go away, and it definitely did. I met with a couple of different lactation consultants, and the second one helped me so much. And once she kind of helped me establish how to get that deeper latch, then it just made a huge difference, and breastfeeding has been a lot different since then. So that was at about 2 weeks when we had her 2-week appointment. And then of course we have just kept practicing together. Baby girl is learning how to latch properly as well. without my help, so I don't have to guide her as much now, whereas I had to really guide her before and make sure her chin was up and things like that. And now I can kind of just let her guide a little bit more, and she can latch pretty well without it causing me any kind of pain. Now, not every time. Sometimes I do have to relatch her a few times, but she is getting better at that, and I am learning what works for me, and so we're just kind of learning together. Now, also in the beginning, she was only nursing for anywhere between 5 to 20 minutes. Now her feeding times have increased to anywhere from 30 minutes to 45 minutes. So she's really getting a lot more milk, and she's a lot more full, which means that she sleeps longer, she's not as cranky, and she doesn't get hungry as quickly because she is getting more of that hind milk. And that also has to do with me pumping a little bit before. She's not getting as much fore milk, which she was getting a lot of before, which is that watery thin milk at the beginning of your letdown, and then she wasn't getting enough of that hind milk, which is the fattier milk, the milk with more substance. So now she's filling up on more of the hind milk, which is just helping with everything overall. And then I have been giving her the vitamin D drops as well. So I just put a little bit on my nipple, and then she nurses right after. So that was just kind of a brief overview. I do plan on going into more detail about breastfeeding. If you guys have any questions about my routine or anything like that, drop it down below and I will try to answer that in the breastfeeding video. So as far as baby girl goes physically and different activities that we've been noticing or doing with her, she obviously, as you guys have seen, has a ton of hair. She was born with so much hair, but it is still that dark brown, which you can see that my natural hair color, when I was little, I was actually blonde, and then it darkened as I got older, and now it's kind of a light brown. It's definitely not as dark as Chaz's hair or my mom's hair, but it is brown. As you can see, my roots are kind of growing out. But because I grew up as a blonde, I felt more comfortable as a blonde, and so I just have been getting highlights forever because that's what I'm used to seeing on myself. So it was hard for me when I started darkening throughout the years because I just didn't feel like myself. But I don't know, maybe now that baby girl has dark hair, maybe I will go back to my natural color. What do you guys think? Or I'm thinking maybe an ombre. Is that how you say it? Ombre, where it kind of goes dark to light. I don't know. I'm really nervous though. I've had one experience where I went completely brunette again with some blonde highlights, and it did not work for me, and so I was scarred from that. So I've been really hesitant to try anything new. But let me know what you guys think. I would love to know if you think that would look good or if I should just keep it the same. Eliana's eyes are now more of like a gray blue. They looked really blue when we were coming home from the hospital, and now I feel like they've darkened to a little bit more of a gray blue. Her umbilical cord stump fell off at exactly 1 week, and then when she was 2 weeks old, we had her newborn pictures done, which were so cute. They turned out so good. And at that time though, she started to shed a little bit on her hands and feet, shed some skin. Her skin was almost like peeling, and that was because she had been in water for 9 months and her skin was just kind of getting used to the outside air. So that is very typical, I found out, but I didn't know that ahead of time, but it only lasted a couple of days. So when she was born, she was 7 pounds 11 ounces, and then she did lose a little bit of weight over those first few days in the hospital, but she has now gained a good amount of weight, and she's up to 9 pounds 8 ounces, which is amazing. So she's definitely getting enough milk. She is still wearing newborn size clothing, but she is able to wear a few items that are 0 to 3 months as well. So we have both in her dresser just to kind of pick and choose what she's gonna wear for the day. And some of the newborn clothes she has grown out of, but she can still wear quite a few of them. She has started to get a little bit of baby acne on her cheeks and a little bit on the back of her neck, which again, I didn't know that was a thing, but I guess it's very common in newborns. And so she has a little bit right here, but it's just basically from the maternal hormones and it goes away on its own. I have tried dabbing a little bit of milk on her cheeks just because I did read that that can help, and that has seemed to help a little bit. But other than that, it's just kind of going away on its own. She has not had cradle cap at all, and we brush her hair quite frequently and she loves it. She loves having her hair brushed. So I do think that that is helping with that. She is getting stronger every day. She is already able to roll onto her side, and And this was actually making us nervous at the beginning because she was doing this in the bassinet at nighttime while she was swaddled. And so she just slept better like that. However, I did bring it up at one of her appointments and they said that it was best to leave her arms out, which is why we use the Halo Sleep Sack, because we can still swaddle her, but she can have her arms out so that if she rolls to the side, she can push herself back. Now, another thing that we've done to help prevent her from rolling is we actually purchased a newborn insert for her bassinet, and it has bumpers on the side, right kind of on the sides of her waist. And so she actually doesn't roll over at all during the nighttime. She sleeps on her back safe and soundly, right in the middle. It is mesh just like the bassinet is, so she can easily breathe through it, and it has helped so much, and it makes me feel so much better that she is safely sleeping and she's not gonna roll over and roll into the side or anything like that. So it has been amazing, and she sleeps really well in it. Her neck is getting really strong, and she's starting to be able to hold it up a little bit more, whereas before, when she was born, she obviously couldn't, and we've been doing a lot of tummy time, so hopefully that has been what has been helping her to kind of lift it up a little bit. I find that putting a book in front of her face or in front of where her head is so she can kind of look up at it as she's turning her head has helped quite a lot. She has started to track items and sounds with her eyes, so when she hears something, she'll kind of look that way, or if she sees something move, or if I turn the page in a book, anything like that, she will track it with her eyes, which is really cool. It really looks like she's really thinking about things or just really focused on things. Sometimes she'll go cross-eyed when she's really focused on something. She'll furrow her brows a little bit like she's really concentrating. She has a lot of different facial expressions which crack us up, and they are the best. They're so cute, they're precious, and they're hilarious. We laugh so much. Not at her, just with her, you know, when she's so cute. So you just can't help it. It's so sweet. She loves when we read and sing to her. And again, she really likes things that make noise. So we have a little play mat for her, and there is a little jingle bell animal or a butterfly or something. And then there's also something that squeaks, which we can't squeak when Chief is in the house. He has to be in the backyard because if not, he will come running. But she does really love that toy. So going back to sleeping, she does sleep in a bassinet at nighttime. We have the Halo Glide bassinet. So it's right next to our bed. So it's kind of like a co-sleeper, but she's not in our bed. The bassinet is right next to me. So I can look through the mesh and see her right in there. And the arm on the side retracts, so I can easily lift her up and out. We have found that she sleeps the best in footed zipper sleepers or gowns, and then of course in the Halo Sleep Sack. And then we also put this on her every night. I don't know if you guys can see that. So this is the Snooza Hero, and it is a movement and breathing monitor. So this little gadget is so cool. By the way, this is not sponsored. I just did a lot of research on this like 2 days before I went into labor, and I ordered this. It actually came in on the day she was born, but I was looking for something that could help give me peace of mind while she was sleeping so that I could get some sleep as well. I knew that if I didn't have something, that I would just drive myself crazy, not getting any sleep, checking on her constantly throughout the middle of the night to make sure that she was breathing and that she was okay, because my biggest fear is losing another baby. And if you know, and if you have ever experienced a loss of a child or a loss of a baby, whether that is through miscarriage or SIDS or just anything in general, you know how devastating it can be. And I didn't want to go through that again. So I was being super paranoid, and I knew I needed something just to give me that peace of mind. So even though it's not a SIDS prevention mechanism, it will alert me if she stops moving or breathing throughout the night. So this thing has been amazing. It just clips onto her diaper, and this is very flexible. It's very soft, and I can do a whole review on this if you guys want to know more about it. But this thing, the Snooza Hero, has been a godsend. So Eliana sleeps pretty good throughout the night. She usually sleeps, I would say 3 to 4 hours on average, and then she starts to grunt, not cry necessarily, but she starts to grunt, and sometimes it's because she has a little bit of gas, and then sometimes it's just because she's getting antsy, and I think she's starting to get hungry. So that's typically when I go ahead and pick her up, we change her diaper, and then I go ahead and feed her. She usually goes right back to sleep, and then she'll sleep for another 3 to 4 hours. And then she'll start to grunt again, and it just kind of repeats until about 6 or 7 in the morning. Now, she has slept a lot longer, a couple of nights, about 7 hours, which was amazing, and I felt like a new woman the next day, let me tell you. But that has only happened a couple of times, which I figured it wouldn't happen very often, but I'll take what I can get. We have found that giving her a bath before bed helps her sleep really well. She loves, loves, loves baths, and like I said, having her hair brushed, it really relaxes her and calms her down and makes her sleep well throughout the night. And then something else I wanted to share with you guys that helps us in the middle of the night is this nifty little touch lamp that I just found on Amazon. I want to say it was around maybe $15, but this thing has been amazing because in the middle of the night when you are half asleep trying to change a diaper and nurse, you need something that is going to give you enough light to see what you're doing, but not too much, because number one, you don't want that bright light in your eyes, and number two, we didn't want her to wake up too much because then she would have a hard time going back to sleep. But there's just this little metal thing on the top that you touch for 3 seconds, and it just has this little light. I don't know if you guys can see since it's daytime, but there are 4 levels of brightness of this white, and then it has other colors as well. So this one's actually red. It looks purple, I think, on camera, but it's red. This is green, blue, and then it has this teal color, and then it goes back to the dim white and it just repeats. So you set it on whatever you want. I usually have it on the dim white setting right here, and then you just hold for 3 seconds and turn it off. So in the middle of the night, I don't have to fuss to try to find the little knob on my lamp or on my Himalayan salt lamp. I can just close my eyes and touch, and voila, there it is, and I can see my baby. So this thing is amazing. Again, not sponsored, just something that I have found that works, so I'll link it down below if you're interested. All right, so as far as diapering goes, baby girl is still in newborn diapers. She is almost in size 1, but newborn diapers definitely still fit her. I feel like her torso is a little bit bigger, and then she goes really, really tiny at the bottom, so she does still fit in newborn size. We have tried a few different brands. We have tried 7th generation, Honest Company, and Pampers Swaddlers, and so far the Pampers Swaddlers are actually our favorite. Even though they're not the most natural, we really like them. They hold in everything, and we really like the fact that there is a line on the front that changes color from yellow to blue when she has a wet diaper. So it just helps us know, like, oh, she needs to be changed again. And sometimes she'll have like 3 wet diapers in a row and we need to go ahead and change it quickly. But sometimes we don't think about it because, you know, we're like, oh, we just changed her. She can't have a wet diaper. But there's a blue line, so it shows us that yes, she does have a wet diaper. So those have been really helpful, and she really seems comfortable in them. She has had a little bit of a diaper rash, not necessarily a rash, it just started to get a little bit raw, I would say at about the 1 to 2 week mark range, and we did put some Honest Diaper Rash cream on that. This is the cream that we used, and her rash went away, I would say, in less than 2 days. She really doesn't mind diaper changes. She just kind of is very calm. She looks around. She doesn't scream or cry hardly ever when she's getting her diaper changed. I think she honestly feels kind of free, and it feels good to get a clean diaper. So we haven't really had any issues with diaper changes. And again, we haven't really had any blowouts. We did have a little bit, I guess, of one last night. She was wearing a 7th generation diaper, I think, and it kind of went up her back just a little bit, but it wasn't anything super bad. So as far as bathing goes, for the first 2 weeks, we gave Eliana just a basic sponge bath because she, number one, had her umbilical cord for the first week, and then the second week we tried to do the regular bath and then it made me really nervous, so we just stuck with the sponge bath. But over this past week and a half or so, we've been giving her regular baths. We have the Angel Care bath support, so it's not an actual baby tub. I think I want an actual baby or infant tub just to kind of keep that water in, because right now we either have to put the bath support into the sink or into our tub. I feel like it might be cleaner in an infant tub that I can just disinfect. I don't know. I'm not really sure, but it's been working fine so far. We do file her nails down with an electric or battery operated file instead of clipping them, and that has worked wonders. It's very gentle on her nails and she just lays there and is very calm when we do it. And then as far as congestion goes, we have found that we love, love, love saline drops and the nose Frida, where you suck everything out. And it was so funny because Chaz was really grossed out by it at the beginning, but you guys, it does not go in your mouth. And since he has realized that, he loves it and it works really well. We have been able to relieve a lot of her congestion by getting the yuckies out with that nose Frida. And then, like all babies, she's gonna get fussy sometimes. And when she does, we have found a few things that work to soothe her. She, number one, loves to be held and rocked and swayed in our arms. She likes to be patted kind of on the diaper. It just kind of makes her bounce a little bit, which she also loves. We have a few different loungers for her to use throughout the house when we're supervising. So we have the DOCKATOT, which is right here. We have the rock and play. We have a swing for her. And then sometimes I do put her in the high chair because it tips back into a newborn high chair, so she can kind of lean back and it will roll around. So I kind of push her around in it, which soothes her. She loves going on walks in her stroller and she always falls asleep on a walk. Sometimes, honestly, she's just crying because she wants to look around and she wants to see things and interact.
Yeah, so I think she's getting bored because like she doesn't like being stationary. So every time I lay her on our back, let's see if she'll do it. She'll start getting fussy and antsy and start moving and squirming.
Now she's not gonna do it because we're trying to show you guys.
Come on. But then as soon as I get up with her and put her on my shoulder, she can look over my shoulder at everything around her. And I think it's just not as boring to her. I feel like she gets bored staring at the same thing. So I think she's just trying to take everything in and memorize her surroundings.
She loves when I hold her facing forward like this, and I just kind of bounce her around so that she can see everything. She loves that. She loves being worn in the carrier. She doesn't like being in her car seat, but she usually falls asleep in the car when we're on a ride. But then if she wakes up and realizes, oh, I'm in the car seat, she doesn't like that because I think she feels so restrained and she wants to be free, I guess. And then we just recently introduced the pacifier to her about 2 days ago. I wanted to wait until we established breastfeeding first, which sounds like she might need to nurse again. I can hear her out there. But I wanted to wait just in case. I know that it's very controversial. Some people think it can cause nipple confusion if you introduce the pacifier too early. Some people think you can't. I don't think there's any research out there either way to prove it either way. So just in case, we decided to wait those 4 weeks. We tried the bibs pacifier first, which she did not like. I think it's too big. She has been taking the Soothies, which are also on the Wubbanubs, so I did get her one for Easter, so stay tuned for an Easter haul. And then we have tried the MAM, M-A-M, and she doesn't seem to like that one. She will only take the Avent Soothies so far, so I don't know. I wish they were cuter, but you know, it is what it is. That one is most like the nipple, I guess, and that is the one that she has taken so far. Now, if she does have gas, one of the best ways we have found to soothe her is to do the bicycle legs, or kind of tip back her legs to kind of squeeze out her toots, which work really well, by the way. And then we also kind of just do very light belly massages on her. Chaz found something online that says to kind of do your fingers like this on their bellies, very lightly, and say, I love you, something like that. And she loves that. So that is how we soothe her when she is a little bit gassy. But like I said, luckily we haven't really dealt with too many gas pains since I've been staying away from broccoli, thank goodness. So again, not sure if that's a coincidence or not. I really like broccoli, so I would love to be able to eat it if I can. It could have just been my milk coming in and her body just kind of getting used to everything, but I'm not really sure. So I know that was a lot, but hopefully that gave you guys a really good update as to how this first month has gone. She is the sweetest little girl and I absolutely love her. I can't wait to watch her reach all of these new milestones every month, and it's just gonna be a joy to have you guys along with us on this ride. So thank you guys so much again. Hit subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll see you guys in our next video. Bye.